Welcome everyone back to weekly weather updates, and in today's video we're going to have a look at the latest on this very hot weather we're going to be seeing come the end of this working week. It's looking likely now many areas across England and Wales are going to be getting into the high 20s if not low 30s, breaking heatwave thresholds for at least a day or two. Now remember, to get an official heatwave we need to be above heatwave thresholds for 3 days straight. Little bit iffy whether we are going to do that, but nonetheless it's going to be very hot on at least a day or two, perhaps Thursday, Friday, and maybe Saturday. Big uncertainties though with those Saturday temperatures, simply because we have cold air coming in from the west, big thunderstorms associated with that, and it's just how quickly that air does sweep through. But it's going to be sort of an exponential curve in terms of temperatures this week, starting out the low 20s, finishing low 30s by Friday. We'll start today by having a look at the live radar, look at the conditions at the moment. Then we'll run through the UKMO Office Run, have a look at the precipitation and temperature over the next 5 days, and then we'll have a look at the mid to longer range models, see what they're showing in the next couple of weeks in terms of this hotter weather and what they're showing for the current max temperatures come the end of this working week. So remember, if you enjoy my videos, make sure you like and subscribe, and remember to follow me on Twitter as well, the link's in the description. So, if we do start on the live radar at the moment, you can see there's quite a lot of precipitation across northern England, Scotland and Northern Ireland, and this is because of a westerly flow which is giving quite a few showers. Now, they aren't completely, it's not completely horrible up there, but there are quite a few showers around, thicker cloud and stronger winds. The best of the weather is definitely further southwards across most of Wales, England as well. Looking pretty decent out there, and this is going to be spreading these sort of conditions further northwards over the coming days. Some of these showers could be heavy and thundery, nothing too crazy at the moment, but there could be a few little isolated lightning strikes, some hail shafts potentially within these showers as well. Now, if we do have a look at the temperatures, the 2 meter temperatures at the moment, now I'm recording this around 2 p.m, so reaching peak temperatures over the next sort of hour or two, and you can see it's pretty warm, high teens, low 20s, and that's going to continue into the next sort of day or so before really ramping up, as I said, by sort of Tuesday, Wednesday time. Much cooler further northwards and westwards. Now, it isn't going to get sort of towards 30 degrees for the northwards and west over the north and west over the next sort of 5 days, but it does look like it will warm up from the mid-teens at the moment, at least to the high teens, if not low 20s, and a few spots could even get towards the mid-20s. So it's not going to be a massive heat wave for further northwards and westwards. There is going to be cooler air hanging on there, because this pool of very hot air is very concentrated, and there's going to be massive temperature contrasts. So areas in Scotland going to be 15, 16, 17 degrees, while in the southeast of England, it could be 32, 33 degrees. So still a little bit of uncertainty how hot it does get further northwards, but it does look like, nevertheless, it is going to warm up. So, if we do now have a look at the UK Met Office Run, have a look at that precipitation temperature over the next 5 days. Now, you can see those showers spreading through at the moment, and they'll continue to push through. And then tomorrow, we do see a little bit of dry weather, perhaps. A bit more cloud around. There will be some sunnier breaks, but a few showers in across Scotland, but they're nowhere near as heavy and widespread. It is turning drier, though, and you can see through Tuesday, perhaps some persistent rain into the far west of Scotland, but most areas turning drier. A few showers across Northern Ireland, but more sunshine around and really sunny across England and Wales, and those temperatures are really going to be climbing. By Wednesday, once again, weather front threatening the far north and west of Scotland, but not quite making any inroads. And you can see further southwards, much more sunshine around, looking quite pleasant and warm. And by Thursday, temperatures starting to get into the mid to high 20s, more cloud around, so hazy sort of conditions. That could limit temperatures a little bit, but the air mass is so warm by this point that it's still likely to get into the mid to high 20s. And if we do have a look at that air mass by the end of the week, you can see by sort of Wednesday evening, we're getting towards 10 to 12 degrees at 850 HPA, 15 degrees across northern parts of France, and by Friday afternoon, we're likely to get towards 20 degrees at 850 HPA, which will give temperatures into the low 30s. Now, if we do have a look at these max temperatures, you can see this afternoon peaking around 20 to 23 degrees across the far south and east, more likely mid-teens further northwards. If we head through to Sunday, you can start to see those temperatures rising, For some reason, it's still got Saturday's run here. That's a bit peculiar. If we actually do run to yesterday's 3 p.m. run, for some reason it hasn't updated for the 3 a.m. run. So this is the 3 p.m. run from yesterday, so 12 hours out of date, but it's still nonetheless will have the temperatures into sort of Thursday, Friday time. Now you can see Sunday afternoon, 20 to 22 degrees, not too bad. And as we head into Monday, it will start to ramp up a little bit. Still holding back, just a bit more cloud around, but by Tuesday time, those temperatures, as I said, starting to really climb. 23, 24, maybe 25 degrees. And by Wednesday, really warming up. 25 to 27 degrees across many areas in the in the central and southern England, even getting to northeast England could be 25 degrees. And as I said, across Ireland, Northern Ireland and Scotland could get to 20 degrees or so. And as we head into Thursday, really hotting up, 28, 29 degrees across the London and southeast England, and widely 20 to 25 degrees, if not higher, for most of the British Isles. Now, it is going to be getting even hotter than that onto Friday, and we'll have a look at that in the models in a second. So, if we do now run on to having a look at the mid to long range models, if we start on the GFS, as you can see, high pressure is building to our east, low pressure to our west, and this brings up a southerly airflow. Very hot air by Thursday, Friday time, but it does get broken down by a little low pressure system, bringing cooler air in from the north and west. This will bring unsettled conditions temporarily with potentially big thunderstorms. Now, it isn't in the shorter time frame, so within the next 5 days, this breakdown, as it is looking likely to be next Saturday. So, in the next couple of days, we'll be having a better idea on it, but for the moment, we can't say with too much certainty how big these thunderstorms are going to be, how widespread they're going to be, etc. But you can see, yep, cooler air does sweep through, and we go generally into a bit of a northwesterly flow for a time before high pressure does build in. For the mid to end of June, it doesn't look massively hot because the air direction is generally from a northerly or westerly direction, but it doesn't look massively cold either, and not massively unsettled, generally under higher pressure. Could be a few showers around, but nothing too crazy. Now, if we do run it back and just have a look at those air masses, ridiculous air mass coming in on Friday, the 20-degree isotherm getting in incredibly hot, the 25-degree isotherm, which is sort of record level heat, is getting into northern France. So northern France likely to getting towards that 40-degree mark, incredibly hot. When we saw the highest temperature ever in the UK, we were getting sort of the 24, 25-degree isotherm in. So yeah, very incredibly hot. Again, it's difficult to verify these upper air temperatures because, of course, we only measure surface base. Of course, Met Office do send up weather balloons that can take temperatures, but we don't have like an extensive data set of exact upper air temperatures sort of in real time. So it is difficult to say exactly what 25 degrees at 850 HPA would correlate to on the surface, but we can say to around a degree or two with a margin of error. So if we did get that 25-degree isotherm in, would be high 30s, if not 40 degrees, but it's likely just to get towards 20, 21, 22. So more likely peaking in around low to maybe mid-30s. Maybe 34, 35 degrees could be achieved. But at the moment, most likely temperature is going to be between 31 and 33, I think, on Friday. Now, if we do zoom in and have a look at the United Kingdom look, and we do run it out to 3-hour intervals, you can see that temperature is peaking around 21, 22 degrees at 850 HPA. Maybe the 23-degree isotherm, 24, maybe 25, just peaking into the English Channel, but we're not quite seeing it come on shore. And you can see massive temperature contrast, 10 degrees at 850 HPA further northwards. So yeah, big 15-degree isotherm contrast, incredibly hot. And if we do have a look at those 2-meter temperatures at the surface for Friday afternoon, you can see widely high 20s, low 30s. Again, GFS not quite as optimistic, and again, these are lower resolution models, don't quite forecast sort of microclimate, little orographic features as well, so it's likely to be slightly higher than that in reality. And the reason why there's big uncertainty on Saturday, because you can see 29 degrees by midday across the far southeast, but across the Midlands, northwest England, near Birmingham, it's 11 or 12 degrees with big thunderstorms moving in. So that's why there's so much uncertainty with those temperatures. Could be sort of almost a 20-degree temperature difference, because you can see it's almost mid-30s across northern France, Belgium and Netherlands. So yeah, big uncertainties was happening on Saturday, so please do stay tuned, because there could be very variable conditions. It could be incredibly hot, but it could be incredibly cool with big thunderstorms as well, just depending on the exact timing of that cooler air mass moving in. So if we do now have a look at the GEM run, see how that does compare. Again, high pressure building to our east, low pressure out to the west, and we bring up a southerly airflow, low pressure running in, and eventually bringing cooler air in from the northwest with unsettled conditions. Big thunderstorms would be with that as well into the weekend. Beyond that, we do stay in a bit of a northerly flow. High pressure does build back in, so it is turning drier. And you can see the air mass isn't massively cold, but it's not massively warm either. And with a northerly airflow coming in off the sort of northern part of the Atlantic, it's going to feel chillier, but still temperatures likely into the low 20s in the south. So nothing too bad, but returning back towards normal. It's not a slow descent back towards normal. It's very quick descent back to normal after this brief heat wave this coming week. Now, if you do run it back and have a look at the United Kingdom look, sort of zooming in and have a look at those 850 HPA temperatures and run it to the 3-hour outlook, you can see those incredibly hot air masses moving in really by Thursday into Friday afternoon, getting that 20-degree isotherm. Not quite as hot as the GFS, but if we do zoom in and have a look at the 2-meter temperatures, interestingly, it has much higher max temperatures at the surface, so showing between 30, 32, maybe 33 degrees in East Anglia and central southern England into the southeast as well. So incredibly hot from the GEM running, see mid-30s, maybe even high 30s in towards central and northern France. Incredibly hot indeed on Friday. And if we do run it into Saturday, you can see those temperatures nowhere near as warm as we have that cooler air pushing through much faster. You can see by Saturday afternoon that hot air is pushed out of the way. It gets pushed out of the way really Friday evening. So perhaps that thundery breakdown coming Friday night instead of into Saturday. So that's why there's big uncertainty and why Saturday's temperatures at the moment are very, very unreliable, because it all depends on how quickly this hot plume gets swept away. So if we do have a look at the ECMWF, see how that does compare. Again, high pressure building to our east, low pressure out to our west, southerly airflow coming in. We're seeing a little cut-off low developing there. Could be big thunderstorms mixing in with that, as there's still a lot of hot air energy around, and generally towards the longer term we actually go pretty unsettled with low pressure coming in from the northwest. Would be reasonably cool upper air conditions. It's not massively cold, but generally cooler air feeding into this low. It's not going to be too great. So this heat wave is going to be short-lived. It doesn't look like it's going to be anything sustained more than sort of 2 or 3, 4 days or so. So it is going to be sharp, and it's going to be short and sharp. So that is one caveat to this. So if you don't like hot weather, it's going to be hot, but only for a couple days, luckily. If you do enjoy very hot weather, unfortunately, make the most of the next sort of 5 days or so. It doesn't look like we're seeing anything remotely hot beyond this in the foreseeable future, or at least the next couple of weeks. Now, if you do run it back and have a look at the 2-meter temperatures towards the surface, actually, we'll have a look at the 850 HPA temperatures. Again, you can see the 20-degree isotherm moving in, very hot indeed. If we actually run back to the 3-hour intervals, yeah, you can see 20-degree isotherm moving in, so very hot. And again, you see it's being swept away by Friday afternoon, so perhaps in the evening into early hours of Saturday is where we could see a big thundery breakdown. You can see the temperature deviation, 12 degrees above average across the far southeast, 4 to 6 degrees above average across Northern Ireland and Republic of Ireland. And if you have a look at those 2-meter temperatures, low 30s, 30 to 31 degrees, and again, much cooler further northwards and westwards. So if we do now finish the video by having a look at the GFS and ECMWF Ensembles, now you can see massive ramp up in temperatures over the next 5 days towards that 20 degrees at 850 HPA, between 10 and 15 degrees above average. But you see by around the 19th, so Saturday time, a massive dip in temperatures back towards or slightly below average for a day or so, and big precipitation spikes showing big thunderstorms, or at least a lot of heavy rain pushing in. It's inevitable that we're going to see some sort of breakdown with this massive change in temperature in the atmosphere. And as I said, in the longer term, it looks generally around average. Some warmer runs, some cooler runs, but majority are in around the 1981 to 2010 mean. So nothing spectacular is coming on. That's why I said, if you're enjoying hot weather, if you enjoy it, you love sunny hot weather, getting out when it's 30 degrees, make sure you do cherish the next few days. And if you don't like this sort of weather, luckily it doesn't look like this is going to last very long, and it doesn't look like there's going to be any repeat within the next sort of 10 days or so. If we do have a look at the 2-meter temperature just briefly, again, these are not going to be particularly accurate, but you can see the ramp up in temperatures peaking around Friday, Saturday time in the high 20s. And again, because they're low resolution ensembles, you always have to add a few degrees to them. So getting towards the low 30s, maybe even mid 30s if we get the exact right conditions, sunshine and the really hot air mass. If you do look at the ECMWF Ensembles, you can see again big ramp up towards 20 degrees at 850 HP, and then a big drop with big precipitation spikes showing big thundery breakdown. And again, returning to around average for the foreseeable future and being a bit more unsettled in general. So it does look like it's turning towards average in the longer term, and a little bit more unsettled, unfortunately. But it really depends whether you enjoy hot weather or not. If you don't enjoy hot weather, it's probably good news. If you do, it's probably bad news. And if we do just finish by having a look at the 2 meter temperatures, you can see ramping up towards Friday, getting towards 30-degree range. And you can see Saturday, big uncertainty. Some members are only going for sort of 18 degrees, others getting back towards high 20s, maybe 30-degree range. It's just simply because of the big uncertainty with how quickly that very hot air does get swept away. And again, big precipitation points, so thunderstorms building with that. So it does look like it's going to be very hot later this week. Now remember, we are in sort of the peak point of the year for UV. Going to be dangerous UV levels out there. So not only will we have very hot conditions, there will be dangerous conditions out there. If you've got fair skin, likely to burn within 20 to 30 minutes out in that sunshine between sort of the peak of the day, between 10 and 4 p.m. So please do wear sunscreen, stay in the shade, and make sure you do stay hydrated, especially if you are vulnerable, as these are not going to be long-lived sort of hot weather, but it can be very potent, and I just hope that everyone takes the necessary precautions, because it is going to ramp up very quickly. Sometimes with these sort of heat waves we see it build day on day, but this is going to ramp up very quickly from low 20s on Monday, Tuesday to low 30s by Thursday, Friday. So please do take the necessary precautions. So anyway, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you again for another video soon.